Welcome to episode 173 of Level Up, Your Career with APMG. Welcome to 60 minutes of live Q&A where your questions drive the show. My name is Stephan Brendel, and on behalf of APMG, I am your host today. My colleagues Adriana and Ella are present in the LinkedIn and YouTube chats, so please let us know your name and the city from where you are joining. They will post a link for you to vote up these questions that you would most like answered, and of course for you to add your own. If your question is selected, your name will appear in the credits at the end of the show, so get yours in early and stay with us to see that happen. Today we discuss the question, how to become a business analyst. And this can be a journey of continuous learning and professional growth, being proactive in expanding your knowledge, seeking mentorship, staying updated with industry trends. I'm sure with persistence and dedication, you can build a successful career as a business analyst. But let's hear from our panel of experts who are here today, who work across industries and time zones, and who will provide practical examples, insights, and hints about this high demanded role. Sounds interesting? Well, then let's get started to meet the panel. Hello, everyone. So this is a true international group here. So first of all, I'd like to start with Patel. She equips people and businesses with the skills they need to work smarter, leaner, and more effectively. She worked in training for just over 5 years and had huge success in the space. She finds it highly rewarding working with global corporations to talented individuals, and having come from an industry background in business analysis, Jay now develops and delivers training in business analysis for QA in the UK. Welcome to Level Up, Jay. Hello to Birmingham.
Hi, Stephan. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Hope you enjoyed the show today.
Yes, we will. Probably will. Our next guest on the panel is Luca Gambetti. He's the founder of Equality Italia and an experienced coach and mentor. Luca builds deep relationships with his clients and teaches a range of leading practice, including business relationship management and Agile Business Analyst. Welcome back to Level Up, Luca, and hello to Rome.
Thank you, Stephan. Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to talk about this profession that I really love deeply. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We also have here Orlando Heijmerink. He's a trainer and change guide at Lagant in the Netherlands. His background was a practicing project manager where he rose to become director of projects and implementations at ABN AMRO. Passionate about helping teams and organizations with change, achieve results, and have a little fun along the way. Welcome back to the panel, Orlando, today joining us from Belgium.
Hi, nice to meet you all, and really excited to be here and discuss this important subject. The good news for Agile for business analysts is that business analysts are needed before project, during projects, and after projects. So that's different from a project manager. So you're really important.
Yeah, thanks for setting the stage for us already. Okay. Also on the panel is Shola Issac. He's the executive director at Training Creatively, where he delivers a wide range of project and program management trainings for clients across industry. He has extensive experience in delivering value to his clients and has facilitated training courses for over 5,700 delegates worldwide. Shola is joining us from London today. Welcome back to the panel.
Nice seeing you again, and looking forward to a very exciting learning experience in this program. Thank you.
You're welcome. Completing our panel today is Andrew Porter. He's a senior learning consultant delivering business analysis courses for QA in the UK, in person and online from his garden office, affectionately known as the Shed of Analysis. also deeply invested in helping early career people build their capabilities. Andrew focuses on helping every individual reach their full potential. Andrew, welcome back. And Andrew is joining us from Preston in the UK.
Welcome, Stephan. Nice to meet you all again. And yes, looking forward to the questions. The questions never cease to amaze me, where they come up with different ideas. And it's always interesting to see what people are thinking. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. And I suppose you are at the Shed of Analysis currently, where you are joining us from.
Yeah, definitely.
All
That's
right.
where I am, yeah.
Our question master today is my colleague Charlotte Miller, who's joining us from Reading in the UK. Welcome, Charlotte, and may we have our first question, please?
You can. Thanks, Shola. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. Today, our first question, I do apologise, is from Amy. And Amy asks, how important is it to have an understanding of Agile as a business analyst?
Well, I think we have Shola first, followed by Andrew, Orlando, and then Luca.
Yes, good question, isn't it? In this world where things are changing almost every day at an increasing velocity. So we all need to be agile. And as a business analyst, we know that an analyst examines in details business scenarios, business problems. The business being part of an ecosystem that is changing literally every day now, it is totally important to understand Agile and therefore to help your business adjust accordingly. Great question.
Yeah, yeah, indeed it is. Let's hear from Andrew then.
Okay. My answer to this is to take the word agile and think about what you're talking about. Because if you're just talking about agile methods, yes, it is a good idea to have knowledge of agile methods. It's not essential, because if your company actually doesn't use agile, then why do you actually need to learn it? But you could make sure you're aware of it. But one of my colleagues actually says, not doing agile, but being agile. So actually think of it as a way of thinking rather than a method. So that's me.
Yeah, thanks. Good advice. Thanks, Andrew. And let's go around and continue with Orlando, please.
Yeah, so I think it's extremely important. It's extremely important knowing that almost all the products and deliveries and value which is being created in the world right now is taking some kind of IT aspect in account, and that means that most of the IT departments are using some kind of working agile. So Agile will be around in most of the departments and organizations everywhere in the world, I expect. And since that is the case, it's very important to focus on different aspects and to understand what the differences are, like iterative feedbacks, like focusing on business value and continuous improvement time and again and again. But probably we will talk about it later, I assume.
Yes, probably will. Thanks, Orlando. And Luca.
I agree with what my colleagues have said before, and would like only to add that there are some techniques for requirement representation in the Agile world that are quite different from the other techniques used. One mention for the user story technique, you need to master this technique in order to be effective in giving requirements in an Agile world. So yes, it's absolutely important.
Yeah, thanks, Luca. And I think, Amy, this is a really good question you've raised. I mean, understanding of Agile can also be, in worst case, that you find organizations where people do the cherry picking of Agile. Like, I'm Agile because I can avoid to document, right? And just leave it to that. So it's important to understand the principles of Agile to know when people just claiming to be Agile and they aren't. Well, anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a look to our visitors if we can. And I see there's my colleague Nigel from Cape Town in South Africa. So we're expanding our visitors really much into the Southern Hemisphere here. And there is Marion van der Dijl is from Huizen in the Netherlands. Hello, not too far away from where I am. Hi, Marion, good to see you. And from Khartoum in Sudan, Ahmed Kara, an ITIL expert. I'm also an ITIL expert. Hi, Ahmed Kara. Good to have you here on the call. You probably have already seen people out there that you can raise questions. And I wonder, Charlotte, if we have already received a live question from our audience.
We certainly have. We've got several live questions that have been submitted already. The first one is from Nipu Monhan. They ask, what is the future of a business analysis role in the buzzworld of data analysis, consultants and project managers?
All right. So we have a few panelists who want to answer. So I start with Jay, followed by Luca, and then Orlando.
Yeah, so the role of the BA isn't going away, in my opinion. For as long as we have change projects, we're going to have the role of the BA. We might not always call ourselves a BA. We might take on the role of a data analyst. We might take on the role of a consultant as a BA. We might also need to have some level of project management skill, as well as a whole host of other things. But in my opinion, as long as we have change projects within our businesses, and that's certainly not going away, the role of the BA is here to stay as well.
Yeah, good points made, Jay. Luca, what's your view?
My view is that probably business problems will not go away. So we will need a solution in the future. So we will need business analysts. And for the other roles, they are closely related to the business analyst role, but they cover different purposes. So we will have a future. They will have a future as business analysts.
Okay, Nipo, sounds encouraging, doesn't it? Orlando, what's your view?
Yes, I'm a strong believer that the future of business analyst and data analyst as a competence, as a skill, will be growing together, grow to each other, because data is everywhere. Data is the buzz of today's world and of the future world. So if you look at all the universities and who are offering all kinds of data analysts or econometrics courses, I expect that this will be a future important skill of a business analyst.
Right. Okay. Thanks, panel, for your replies. And Nipo, I hope this answers your question and give you some indication what the future will bring. So, Charlotte, can we have our next question, please?
You can, Stephan. Our next question is from a live viewer, somebody that we know very well, Modal Tandal. Is the role of business analysis more pivotal than project manager?
More pivotal than project manager. Well, I always have to give the panel for live questions. I have to give them a moment. If no hands raising, I will pick one. But luckily, Orlando has raised his hand first, then followed by Luca.
Yes, good question. I'm still thinking about it. Is it more pivotal? You know, if you're working in an environment, in an organization where you're using SAFe, and maybe there are not so many projects, but it's all ongoing. It's all going in still stable in stable teams, creating innovations. The BA role is definitely fundamental and paramount. And because my belief is that it's about the domain knowledge, which is crucial, what the BA is. And the project manager is some kind of coordinating role to achieve changes. So in organizations where innovation is being organized, where you don't need project managers, well, the BA is more pivotal. But you need both for creating real changes.
Okay. Thanks, Orlando. And let's hear from Luca next.
Yeah, well, I think that you need both roles in an organization. And in my experience, I have encountered many project managers that are working also as business analysts. You need someone who is able to define a solution, and you need someone else who is able to deliver that solution respecting cost and time constraints. So there is no role more pivotal than another.
Okay, that's no role more pivotal than another. Shola, what's your view?
It depends on the context. We know that the business analyst is analyzing the entire business continuously with different stakeholders, as you might say. But just like Luca just said, the project manager is delivering change. So what specific context are you looking at? Are you looking at a massive change that will affect the entire organization at a particular point in time? Or are you looking at continuous improvements, which is the focus of the BA, delivering continuous beneficial change to the organization? It does depend. They are both important. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. All right. So, Murray Dool, I hope this will shed some light on what you were asking for. And Charlotte, I would love to have the next question.
Thanks, Stephan. We've just had a live question come in, so there's no warning on this one, I'm afraid. It's from, forgive me for the pronunciation, but Adizzi. Can one be a business analysis and a project manager in the same company?
Yeah, very fast reaction from Andrew and then from Jay. And Andrew, please kick us off here.
I've had people on my training courses who are BA on Monday through to Wednesday and project manager on Thursday and Friday. I did ask the lady if she told herself off for not doing the work that she should have been doing as a BA, and she said yes. So she obviously got a very conflicted mind going on there. But some small companies can't fund an entire headcount of one BA and one PM, and they need to do this. It's not an easy situation for that person, but for it is possible. And as a BA, I've done PM work, and some of the PMs I've worked with have done BA work. When we work together well, that often happens. So yes, perfectly possible from my point of view.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so but just to stick on that one, so the question wasn't, and you didn't reply to that particular question in terms of that it can be one person having two roles at the same time, but at different times. Okay, thanks for that. Let's hear from Jay first.
Yeah. So my opinion isn't too different from Andrew's there. I think there's two things to take into consideration. The BA and the PM wearing two different hats on two different projects is perfectly viable in the same company, and it's less conflicting. Taking on the role of the BA and the PM on the same project can be a lot more challenging. It's doable, but it becomes a lot more challenging, especially for large projects. So it's not recommended personally. For smaller projects, yeah, you might, as a BA, take on the role of a PM within that project, within the same company. And it is doable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, I suppose not ideal. Okay, let's hear next from Orlando then.
Yeah, I agree with Jay. If you're in larger organization and it's about big, large projects, I wouldn't advise it. Because there are a very good project manager. The primary skills of a very good project manager is organizing skills and organize that the project is delivering. And the paramount skill and competency of a business analyst is an analyst, and is content related. So those are not usually and easy going together. So if you're in a small company and it is what it is, be pragmatic and do fuse these roles. But in larger organization, in a context where there is lots of dynamics, political dynamics and complexity, I wouldn't advise it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks, Orlando. And let's hear from Shola then.
Yes, Jay and Orlando have discussed already what I was going to say. But you say it depends on the context again, isn't it? You might have very big companies, conglomerates, multinationals, where you are a BA in, but you might be involved now in a very small project in those same big companies. So it depends on the context. There's no absolute anywhere, so it is indeed possible.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks, Shola. Well, okay, Charlotte, I suppose we have some reactions from the questions, from the live questions that we answer. Can you share some?
Yes, so Ogum says, thank you very much. Brilliant answers. Thank you, guys. So live response there from viewer from a live question.
Panel, very well done job so far. Okay, well then let's go to the next question and keep the momentum, Charlotte.
Thanks, Stephan. Okay, so we've the next question is from Amy. I could answer this question myself, but I won't. What are the most important certificates in business analysis?
Okay, I think Andrew wants to kick us off here again, and then followed by Jay.
Well, of course, I've got to say that the APMG is the most important certificate you could possibly get. But APMG, in terms of BAs, does the Agile side of things. There are other companies, there are other organizations. The IIBA is an excellent organization for getting certification. The British Computer Society, there are others. I think if you find the certification in your local area and see what your colleagues have got, what they found the most useful, to actually say one, you should go for one as opposed to another, I think is a mistake. Any certification to prove that you've understood and you've had training in a certain area is very valuable.
Okay, thanks for giving that overview, Andrew, and thanks for mentioning APMG for the Agile BA certification. Let's hear from Jay then.
Yeah, I was going to say the same as Andrew, so I won't repeat, but the International Institute of BA, BCS, and of course APMG. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is you might find certifications out there, but sometimes actually on-the-job training can be really valuable as well. Certificates are always really good. They look great on the CV. It gives you that reassurance that when you get your certificate that you are qualified in a certain area. But you can start your BA career without any certification. So don't hesitate in starting a BA career just because you can't go and sit on a training course necessarily.
Yeah, right. Well, this provokes the next live question, which I'm hoping to find. So what is required at minimum if you don't need a certification? But that's not the question of Amy. So therefore, let's hear from Shola now.
Yeah, so which audience thinks this certificate is important? In Canada, you've got the IIBA. Here in the UK, you've got the BCS. And in America, you've got the PMI Institute with the PMI BA certification. But everywhere, as we just discussed, businesses are becoming more agile. So the Agile BA course from APMG is totally relevant to all audiences. And I agree with you, Jay. You can also pick up information training from multiple sources. If you look at LinkedIn as an example, you might see some relevant training there.
All right. Thanks, Shola. Thanks, panel. And I think, Charlotte, we move on. How about that?
Thanks, Stephan. So we're being flooded with live questions today. We've got a follow-up question from Agum. How can business analysts use ChatGPT for efficiency?
Well, all right. So I see Jay and Luca, and I think this is probably ChatGPT as a synonym for artificial intelligence in general. So let's start with Jay, Luca, followed by Orlando.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? AI, it's taken the world by storm at the moment. I mean, I will put my hands up and say that I certainly use it for my training courses as well, in terms of producing certain content, and therefore from a BA's perspective, if we know what our stakeholders want, there's nothing wrong with using AI to help us produce certain bits of information. But what we have to remember is, whilst there is a lot of opportunity with ChatGPT or any other kind of AI out there, it doesn't necessarily make it correct. So I think our role as a BA then becomes really even more important. If we are going to use it, then we've got to validate the information it is producing. And it goes back down to our core skills, which are stakeholder engagement and validating that information with the right people. So it can be used, is my opinion.
All right. Thanks, Jay and Luca. ChatGPT for efficiency.
Yeah, from my point of view, I could think I never used the ChatGPT for my BA role, but I think it could be used to validate a data model, for example, to validate a business process workflow. I would not recommend ChatGPT to produce actual content until it is possible to check the sources and to check the correctness of what ChatGPT writes down. So this is As for artificial intelligence in general, for example, I use a daily machine translation for my work, and is phenomenal. But for language models like ChatGPT, I am a little bit more cautious.
Yeah, okay. Good advice here. And Orlando, what's your view?
Yeah, actually, the answer, lots of answers the panel gave, is about context. And again, here context is viable, is very important. ChatGPT, I would certainly say go use it, because it could help you. But realize ChatGPT, I think it was from 2020, last year, November 2020, that the information is so it's not it could not be very accurate. Realize that. That's one point. And the second one is, it doesn't give you any added value about the context you're in. And in my opinion, a business analyst has to take the business context and organizational context into account to create business value. The primary assignment of a business analyst is to help creating business value. And so the understanding the organizational context is crucial. And that is what you cannot find in ChatGPT. And on the other hand, it could help you to give structure and to improve space, because they're relevant information which you can find in ChatGPT.
All right. Thanks, Orlando. And let's complete this round of answering with Andrew?
Just my final point would be to agree with all the comments made previously, but also to say, as a BA, we capture information from many different sources. We then have to assess the validity or the accuracy of that information. So, leading on from what my colleagues have said, ChatGPT, is it reliable? Just because it's the buzzword of the moment doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. It's assessing information in its own way. It's got its own algorithms. And also, you could argue that in terms of efficiency, which is in the question, if there's large amount of data to be analyzed, then ChatGPT or other methods may be a brilliant way of getting through a lot of information. But I'd still say, do I trust it in the end? That would be my final point on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. Thanks, panel. And Ogam, hopefully there's something in it for you from what the panelist says. Charlotte, I would like to move on. Time's flying.
Stephan, we do have 2 live questions, one from Johnson and one for Victoria. But I think we've just answered the 2 questions that they've submitted. If they could let us know, that'd be great. Thank you. The next question is from Sandra Heck. And Sandra asks, what background is needed or recommended when applying for a business analysis role?
All right. So what background is needed? I think that becomes the next question after what Jay said about the certifications. So let's start with Andrew and with Luca and Orlando.
Hello. The question saying what background, there are 2 main routes into business analysis. People either come in from a business role or they come in from a technical role. But your background, it's not so much what you have come from as your ability to analyze and be interested and inquisitive and all. Having these capabilities as a person is more important than where you've come from. Any background information that you carry with you in terms of experience and knowledge is always valuable. But for a BA, sometimes we get people starting brand new, straight from college. What experience have they got? How can they be a BA? Yes, they can, because if they are inquisitive and want to know what's going on, they can be of great value, whereas experience can also be of great value. So that is my answer to your question.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. And then let's continue with Luca, please.
Yes, I agree with Andrew. I can say that in my experience, some degree of experience in relationship and communication coming from a role, I don't know, from customer contact or sales or whatever, is actually helpful. So this is my point of view.
Okay, thanks, Luca. And please, Orlando, your view.
Yes, I'd like to add 2 other things apart from what have been said, which is it's about attitude. And so I think an important attitude is you have to be curious, and you have to have to drive for driving innovation. That's one aspect I find very important in becoming in what background is needed. And on the other side, you have to have fun, and you need to have fun in the details, and using your analytical skills for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thanks, Orlando. And Shola, final words on this question.
Yes, when applying for the role of for any role, really, you need 3 elements, isn't it? Qualifications are good, experience is important, and also passion. Like my other panelists said as well, your personal qualities are important. But remember, you can develop all of this. You can develop your personal qualities of, for example, critical thinking, data analysis as a business analyst. You can also grow on your experience. You can add more qualifications. But I think one important thing here really is your passion, your interest in solving business problems, people problems, process problems. That also would really be useful.
Okay, thanks, Shola. So, Sandra, hopefully this answers your question to a satisfactory degree. And Charlotte, do we have another question, please?
We do, Stephan. We've got another live question. The live question is from Mohammed Abbas. Is it necessary for a project manager to obtain a business analysis certificate?
I saw Jay even raising the hand before I couldn't even read the question properly. It's very good, very good. So let's start with Jay, followed by Andrew, Luca, and Orlando.
Yeah, so the project manager role and the BA role, we're looking at these two roles as two separate roles. So the project manager, in my opinion, doesn't need to have a BA certificate, but they do need to have an understanding of the BA role. I have a lot of sometimes project managers coming onto my courses just to simply understand what the BAs are meant to be doing. So if they are trying to obtain a certificate in order to gain that understanding, then fine. But it's not necessary for a PM to have that BA certification.
All right, good point made. Let's hear from Andrew then.
Basically agreeing with everything Jay's just said. A PM having knowledge of what a BA is up to is very valuable. Certification, not essential, I would say.
Okay, thanks, Andrew. And Luca, do you disagree or do you agree?
No, I agree. This is not necessary, but I think that one of the BA certification we mentioned, every one of these can actually widen the perspective of a project manager. It happened to me. Every day during training, talking with project managers. Say, what are you doing? I am developing a solution. Why? For delivering a solution. So they know what they want to do, but they don't know why. And certification can help to understand the complexity of a company and to understand why we are working.
Okay, another good point made here. And Orlando, what's your view?
Well, actually, I don't have any extra to add here. I fully agree; it's not necessary. Although, if you are as a project manager looking at the competencies and the knowledge, and you want to grow your own career more towards a more content and more towards domain knowledge, then of course it could be useful. But it's not necessary for the role of a project manager to have this certificate. So.
Okay, thanks, Orlando and Mohammed. Clear message here. It's not necessary, but helpful if you have it. Charlotte, I would like to move to the next question.
Stephan, the next live question is from Anuri Miz. What is or are the competent skills for a business analysis?
Sorry, I give the panel a moment, but only a moment before I pick someone. And Andrew, resolve this. Please start us off here.
I think we're just trying to fully understand the question. If you're saying what competencies does a BA need to have, then being inquisitive, wanting to discover how to get best business value for the organization you work in, how to solve problems, how to work with people, and have a very open mind, and being able to take different opinions and analyze the information you receive back and try and get the best thing that you can. If that is the nature of your question, that's what the sort of answer I would give to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the way I understand the question as well, Andrew. So let's hear from Andrew. And excuse me, from Orlando.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned some of them, like communication skills, like analytical skills, domain knowledge, which you can build, of course, understanding your context, and well, I would say curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah. We heard passion before, right, Orlando? And Shola, what's your view?
So in reading the question, I was thinking, is the question also asking what makes a business analyst effective? So if that is the purpose of the question, then you'll be effective, isn't it? If you've got relevant, know as much about the business as possible. You don't have to be a subject matter expert in everywhere, but you should have good domain knowledge, as Orlando just said. You will also be effective if you're able to be aware of relevant business analysis techniques and use them, such as being a good facilitator, such as being a good have good project management skills, as we discussed earlier on. All this will make you effective, more competent as a BA.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks, Shola. And some final comments from Jay, please.
I just wanted to call out an observation, and that is, I completely agree with all of my colleagues here today. But nobody has mentioned technical skills, and again, I don't think having that in-depth understanding of technical know-how is an important skill. I don't believe it is, but it's very often people are put off from a career in business analysis because they believe they need to have a technical background. So I just wanted to call out that technical background isn't a necessity here to become a good BA.
Okay, thanks, Jay. And Orlando, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, to dig a bit deeper, and other panelists just mentioned the tech using techniques. I'm a strong believer in, as a business analyst, that you could help bringing people together and using techniques like impact mapping, like user story mapping, like benefits mapping, like customer journey mapping, use cases. All those kinds of techniques will really help you become more effective. And my opinion is that that is more important than using ChatGPT. Because it helps to bring people together and creating shared understanding. And one of the very good expressions of Jeff Patton is shared documents is not the same as shared understanding. And I really, really very much like this expression, because if you can help in the organization, help your colleagues get shared understanding, you will be the most effective business analyst ever, I should.
Probably, yeah, thanks. Time's flying, panel, but I think I'm having fun here. And Charlotte, I wonder if we have another live question coming in.
We do have them coming in. This question has been submitted by one of our panelists, and I thought it was quite an interesting one. So I'm going to ask this one while I wait for the other questions. Question from Andrew. How did you get into business analysis work?
Yeah, and I think I would phrase it, how did you get into business analysis work? Just for making this very clear. Andrew, I come to you last. And I would like to start with Luca. Luca, you're on.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Well, I started working as a developer exactly 40 years ago. And then I started simply making questions. Why do you want that? And this sparked the conversation with my customers. And then gradually over time, I was given problems that were bigger and bigger. And at the end of the day, I found myself to be a business analyst.
So there was that magical moment where you thought this now.
I don't know if there is a special day, I mean, well, I had to change my work because in my first company, I was regarded as a technician. So when I changed company, my experience made me able to start working as a business analyst.
Thanks, Luca. Let's hear from Jay. How did you get into BA?
So my honest answer is I fell into BA, coming from a business degree background, and looking for my first professional role. I joined Transport for London 20 years ago. So, Luca, you have far more experience than myself, but about 20 years ago, I joined as a graduate business analyst at TfL. And from then, I love the role so much. I love the fact that there was so much different exposure to different kinds of projects, and no 2 days were ever the same. No two projects were ever the same. And I've effectively just continued my career from there. Never looked at anywhere else.
Thanks, Jay. Let's hear from Shola then. How did you get into BA?
So I graduated in accountancy, and as an accountant, I've been involved in solving management problems, contributing to solutions, looking into processes. It was only about, I think, 7 years ago that I realized that actually I'm carrying out a BA role. We are all BAs, isn't it? We're all examining in detail what we're involved in, maybe at an IT level, a support level, a strategic level. We are all natural BAs, but are you recognized as a professional BA? In many companies now, increasingly, yes, with some certifications as we just discussed, but it was a natural progression from when I graduated, started working until now as a professional BA.
All right. Thanks, Shola. And Orlando, how did you get into BA?
Well, that was 4 years ago. I got an assignment as a project manager working really closely with a BA, and that was as well during the COVID time. So this BA role was like my view in the world. Well, it was before, during, and after the project. And I couldn't do anything as a project manager without this BA role. On the one hand, knowing a lot of all the techniques and the technicalities of the project, it was in mental healthcare, and on the other hand, translating that into the business in the business needs. So I had become working closely with her, and that was such fun. And I was really I got my mind opening to the BA role, and so after that I found that fascinating. And you, as said earlier, you need as well a PM role as well as a BA role. And what I've learned from that project and working closely with the BA and doing BA role myself in that time. It was such fun, and because you are as well delivering content and delivering solutions and delivering value, and on the other hand, organizing it. So, that role being acting together is actually kind of hard.
Yeah. So in a way, you also fell into this, right? Well, anyway,
absolutely.
Anyway, let's come, Charlotte, to our last question for today, please.
Thanks, Stephan. Our last question is quite a long one. It's from Nerdle Roslan. I work in a call center. I have a master's in project management, but I'm interested in business analysis study and would love to pursue my career in business analysis. The problem is that I do not have any experience and not sure how to obtain.
Okay. Any advice from the panel here? Panel, please. Andrew, let's start with you and then hear from Orlando.
Right. As I didn't actually answer the last question, this actually leads into that answer, or repeats the answer, in that you do have experience. you have experience of doing what you've been doing. And part of the PM study that you did, you would have done business analysis type techniques. So a lot of the experience you already have is valid for the BA. You've just got to move away from the control of a project into investigation of a project and try and get a job that will give you those opportunities. The skills you've got will be good ones for that. As all of my colleagues said on the previous question, they generally fell into the role. And if you get yourself in a company and you see BAs working and you express an interest, I think you've got a very good chance of getting into the role there. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like it. Thanks, Andrew. And Orlando, please.
Yes. Yesterday, I gave an Agile BA training at a multinational manufacturing organization in Holland. And at the end, one of the feedback I received from the participants was, well, you gave me the confidence to start doing and to start experimenting with all the things and techniques you learned us last days. And that's actually what I wanted to wish for you. Just start experimenting and just be curious and passionate, and then you will be okay.
Yeah, right. And they still have the choice of having a training, right? And next to the passion, the experience, and everything else that's been said. Shola, some final words, please.
Just a little addition to what my esteemed panelists have just said. You might want to look for volunteering roles as well, working in NGOs, build up practical, professionally recognized experience. It might not take too much time, maybe a month, 3 months, but adding your MA in project management to that experience will make you more professionally recognized as a BA, and you can then build from there. In the UK, we've got an apprenticeship program if you are based in the UK, because I can't see where you are located. You might want to look into apprenticeships if you're in the UK and maybe in some other countries.
All right. Thanks, Shola. Thanks, panel, and thanks to our producers out there, because you are our producers. You provide excellent questions. You did that today. You did this. You do this on almost every show. You've done a great job. Watch out for your name in the credits if your question was selected. There were quite a few, Charlotte, right, that we could select today. So, my dear panel, it's time for your closing remarks. Just one last word, advice to our viewers here, and keep it short, if I may ask for that, where you've done a great job today. So let's start with Andrew then.
I would say if you're interested in being a BA, show that you're interested to your current company and see if there are any opportunities going. Or if, as Shola said, you could shadow somebody. It's always a good way to do it.
All right. Thank you very much. And Shola, what's your closing remarks, please?
You are a BA already. Add more experiences, more qualifications, and reflect that in a bit of passion. You will only grow as a BA.
Right. Thanks. Orlando, your closing remarks.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. If you want to explore in becoming a BA, ask an experienced BA to become your master, in a sort of guild situation. So to become your guide and reflect with this role. And be a coach and find a coach.
Right. Thanks, Orlando. Luca, your remarks.
My suggestion would be start acting and thinking as you was already a BA. I mean, look at the operation of a company, your company, another company. For example, start reasoning as you are using a business model canvas. This will, day after day, bring you thinking, put you in the shoes of a real business analyst.
Right. Thanks for that. And then we hear finally from Jay.
Yeah, anyone can become a BA. You just need to have the confidence to explore the role further. And I can say with confidence that the BA role and the jobs that are out there has increased. I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but there are so many jobs out there within the profession. You can start at any level. Just look.
Right. Thanks. Very good advice given, Charlotte. Don't you think so? What a nice show we had today.
Amazing show. Thank you to Jay, Luca, Shola, Andrew, and Orlando. To you, Stephan. To Adriana behind the scenes, and even more behind the scenes, Connor. We couldn't have done it without our audience participation with submitting some fabulous questions. We promise we'll answer any outstanding questions in the next business analysis show.
Yes, that's the good news. We will repeat shows and pick up questions that couldn't make it into the panel today. Thanks, panel, for your honest and deep insight providing answers. Well done, everyone. And by the way, over on our website on APMG, you can search for answers to almost 2,000, maybe more in the meantime, comprehensive questions. It's a free resource connecting you with more than 200 experts from around the world. If video isn't your first choice, you can also listen to the audio versions of the shows on your preferred podcast platform. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps new folks discover our content. A little bit of an outlook. On Monday, the 31st of July, we look forward answering your questions to why is writing a better business case important? And on Friday, the 4th of August, we want to shed some light on what it takes to become a change manager. Monday, the 7th of August, we will dive a bit deeper into how to become a digital leader. The shows on Fridays start at 1400 BST and on Mondays that start at 8 BST. You subscribe to Level Up, we will send you a personal summary of what's coming up and how you can join us here on the panel and level up your career with APMG. Thanks, everyone. See you after the weekend.